Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Ladies First on BNC. I'm Laverne McGee.
And I'm Jane Marks, and we have lots to talk about. So happy that you are joining us today.
Well, the coronavirus pandemic continues to dominate what everyone is talking about, so we're going to get you caught up on the very latest developments right now. So last night, President Donald Trump referred to the novel coronavirus as a foreign virus in his address to the nation, and that caused the markets to plummet. He also announced a travel ban for people coming to the United States from Europe, except for the UK. The Department of Homeland Security says Americans and lawful U.S. residents are exempt from the ban, and the president says the actions are necessary to prevent the spread of the infection. In the end, the new ban is very similar to the one already in place for travelers from China. And France ordered the closing of nurseries, schools, and universities from the beginning of next week to slow the spread of the coronavirus. And following Italy in locking down key parts of public life to combat what President Emmanuel Macron called the worst health crisis in a century. And seeking to contain a broader outbreak, France urged people to work from home, limit travel, and keep the most fragile citizens and people over the age of 70 in their homes. And Italy has tightened its nationwide lockdown due to the rising death toll from coronavirus. All non-essential shops and services are ordered to be closed. Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte said supermarkets and pharmacies will be the only retailers allowed to remain open in the entire country. The latest restrictions come as the virus death toll surged yesterday to over 30% to more than 800. That is the biggest daily jump since the start of the outbreak. Italy is already under a national lockdown, restricting citizens' movements and activities until April 3rd.
And shoppers here in the U.S. hoping to try out makeup at Sephora will be facing some major changes because of the novel coronavirus pandemic. All paid and free in-store services at Sephora are completely suspended. According to a memo from its CEO, the cosmetics retailer is taking precautionary measures to protect employees, customers, and shoppers. And instead, they will be encouraged to learn how to use and apply product on face charts. They can try a virtual digital makeover instead. Sephora is also undertaking weekly deep cleanings of its stores and distribution centers. The beauty chain is also waiving shipping fees through March to encourage shopping from home. Employees who feel sick are encouraged to self-quarantine, and they will continue to collect their pay.
My goodness.
The ripple effects of this coronavirus.
Isn't it something?
I mean, in almost every area, whether it's travel, whether it's retail, whether it's Italy, I feel so badly for this country because it seems like of all the countries, they were the least prepared for a health crisis of this nature. And so to me, you just see this country being completely devastated when they show the shots and the streets are empty. And then, of course, I walked into the studio and you were telling me about they're stopping so many events. I mean, it's almost every hour we hear about something new.
Yeah, it's just ongoing. And again, we've been talking about it for a while, wanting people not to panic, wanting people to remain calm, not be too over-concerned, but still taking precautions. But we now have to take it to another level of precautions.
Right.
And we're seeing again, stores like Sephora, we women love to go in the stores. That's what Sephora's all about. You go in and try on your lipstick and your eyeshadow. You have somebody do your makeup, the makeovers. So when you're seeing big companies like that taking these type of precautions, that's hurting their bottom line because that's what brings people into the stores. And a company like Sephora that makes its living off of having women try on makeup and touching
right.
and dealing with somebody. And you realize now you don't even think about how much you interact with people and other people and how much germs can transfer like that. And when you hear this, you really have to stop and think.
Well, I'll tell you, when I think of the ripples of this pandemic and how it affects so many people. I think about the children in schools and the parents who are concerned and the workers who work in retail or restaurants. And you think, what is the future for them and we're just talking about hopefully 1 month's time, but what does it mean to their bottom line? So we as a nation, we're going to be looking out for our now what has become our extended family because of a health crisis. I think this is one of the few things in this country that's happened this year that has brought us all together, where we all have to be on the same page.
Indeed, and for schools, a lot of schools across the country, it's spring break for them, so the kids are home, so that's good. To at least give the schools a chance to decide whether or not to remain open or bring them home. We know that universities across the United States, the major larger ones, have closed. Places like NYU in New York City, Harvard, Notre Dame, Florida State, closing, doing classes online.
Most of the classes are online, right?
Yeah, we'll continue to see, update what happens with the schools here in the United States.